Presiding Officer, I now have great pleasure in inviting Ms. Elizabeth Kehoe, Bachelor Occupational Therapy with First Class Honours of this university, representing the graduates to present the valedictory address.
The Presiding Officer, UQ Senate Member, Ms. Kathy Hirschfeld. Deputy Vice-Chancellor, External Engagement. Members of Senate, guest speaker, academic staff of the university, distinguished guests, my fellow graduates, ladies and gentlemen. I am honoured to stand before you today representing my fellow graduates, and on behalf of all of us, I would like to sincerely thank you for attending our very special day. My name is Elizabeth Kehoe, and today I graduate from the University of Queensland as an occupational therapist. I wish that I could tell you that being an occupational therapist was something I had dreamt about since I was a little girl. But truth be told, in my younger years, I had much more prominent dreams of pursuing a career of becoming a cowgirl above anything else. No, the dream of becoming an occupational therapist did not arise until much later down the track. It was my first year out of high school, and I was working in a hairdresser's whilst I studied my first year in a Bachelor of Business. Like many 18-year-olds, I wasn't too sure exactly what I wanted to do with the rest of my life, and I was quite content with spending more hours in the uni bar than in the uni lecture halls. It wasn't until I was at work one day, washing a young woman's hair, and I asked her what she was doing with her life. She replied, "I'm studying occupational therapy." And as I would soon learn is the most common response to this statement, I replied, "What's that?" She then explained to me that she was part of a wider group of allied health professionals whose job it was to see past the diagnosis and to see a person and to see their potential, and then, most importantly, help them achieve it. And without being dramatic, this woman unknowingly changed the course of my entire life. I decided right then and there that that was exactly what I wanted to do. Having never studied science or even really studied at all, I remember thinking that this is going to be so hard, but it is going to be so worth it. I remember going home that day and I said to my dad, "Dad, I'm going to be an occupational therapist." And his response, "Darling, that's great, but what's that?" All of us will have different stories of how we got here and different memories along the way. However, what we all do have in common is that we are here, today, together, graduating as UQ Allied Health Professionals. And I think that you would all agree that we would not be here today without the people sitting amongst us. They say that it takes a village to raise a child. Well, I think it takes a village to raise an allied health student. So firstly, the academic staff. How lucky we were to be taught by people who are so passionate about their profession that they wish to share this passion with others. Personally, I feel privileged to have learnt from the best in our fields, and I am almost certain that I would not be up here today if it wasn't for the guidance and incredible knowledge shared from the academic staff. Secondly, I would also like to recognise the family and friends who have stood by us throughout our degrees. You were there to celebrate the triumphs, and you were there to console us in the hard times. But most of all, you were just there, with a kind word and a cup of tea, and really that was all that we needed. And last, but definitely not least, I'd like to recognise all of the graduates sitting before me. Today, you have graduated as professionals, as health professionals. I am so honoured to stand here today representing a cohort of people who have decided to work in professions dedicated to helping others. You should be so proud of yourselves for making it to this point, and I encourage all of you to feel confident in what you have to offer and who you have become. I remember being told in first year to make friends with you all quickly because there would be a lot of group assignments. Turns out these friendships were much more important than that. Throughout our degrees, we have drawn on each other's support more than I think any of us could have ever imagined, and in return, we have made lifelong friendships. So where to from here? Well, I don't know. But what I will say is this. Over the past few years, you have developed the skills, the ability, the knowledge, and the values to be an incredible health professional. I challenge you to recognise this and to believe in yourself. Believe in yourself enough to take chances and step forward, even when you may be faced with the unknown. Today, you have taken one giant step forward. Today, you are officially UQ graduates of Occupational Therapy, Speech Pathology, and Audiology. Today, you have done it, and I cannot wait to see where you go next. Thank you.